Hey folks, PK here. So today I'm gonna show you how to set up this crab ring. You know, of all the different crab traps that I use in my videos, I don't think I use this crab ring as often as I should. It works pretty good, and the big difference between this crab ring and my other, say a blue Promar, is the crab ring you leave it down for only about 10 minutes, probably 15 minutes at the most. The reason is it lays flat on the ground like that. And so you put your bait right here. So the crabs crawl on it and they can easily get out because there's really no gate or door. So therefore you have to lift it up pretty often. The crab ring is pretty popular for like crabbing from a pier. But in this video you'll see I'm going to be using this from my boat. Basically for this crab ring, when you lift it up, the bottom ring, the smaller ring, it falls to the bottom. And it becomes just like a hoop net, like a basketball net. So that way when you lift it up, all the crabs get trapped inside, and then that's how you catch them. Now for this trap, I use to catch Dungeness crab here on the Oregon coast. I don't know if you can catch blue crab with it or not. I'm assuming those mesh might be kind of big and they will escape. But for Dungeness, it's just perfect. Now, because it is a net, they rip pretty easily, as you can see here. So if you want to sew them back together, you can maybe use zip ties and tie them up. Now to put on bait, it's really easy. The smaller ring, that's the base, and all you do is put chicken right here or your favorite bait, and you just zip tie onto the metal mesh right here. So that's pretty easy. You don't need any bait box. However, I would recommend a bait box and just zip tie it to the bottom mesh. So that way your bait's going to last a lot longer. If you just zip tie the bait onto the bottom there, they can easily access it and they just tear up your bait and it doesn't last as long. Now when you do buy the crab ring, it usually comes with a rope, but it doesn't come with a buoy because these are used on a pier, and when you're crabbing from a pier, you don't really use a buoy. And these ones, they cost anywhere from $20 up to around $60. All right, folks, so I'm gonna put the bait on this crab ring. I got 3 pieces of chicken. Let's put 4 actually, that's not enough. Do it. Get that bait all smelly. We need that scent trail to be kind of strong. So there it is right there. We're just gonna zip tie it to this bottom mesh right here, this metal mesh, and that's about it. So these crab rings are pretty easy to set up, not a whole lot to it. I said before, you got to lift these in about 10 to 15 minutes because when it lays down on the bottom, that's it right there. It's all exposed. They come in and they can leave anytime they want. So you don't want to leave it down there for too long because if you do, they'll take all the bait. It's rolling. You're on this side. Which side are you on? All right, so there it is. The crab ring is on the bottom of the ocean, and you can see on the left side there's like a tiny shrimp, and he's coming out right there. Now he's going toward the bait box, but the timer is rolling, and the first crab should be coming pretty soon here. But this underwater video just shows you how the crab ring lays on the ground. As you can see, it's pretty flat, and I did put a bait box that's full of chicken. I attach it to the bottom mesh. Oh, there's another shrimp. See that? It was on the left side. And the bait box, again, it helps protect your bait. It's going to make it last a little bit longer. And as you can see in a few moments here, there's going to be crabs just swarming that bait box. So if you didn't have a bait box, the chicken would have been torn up too soon, and once the bait is gone, the crab will escape. But of course, you could also lift it sooner. You can go maybe 5 minutes and just test that out. First do a 5-minute pull, and then a 7-minute pull, and then a 9-minute pull, and just see how your bait is doing. But
for the bait box, I know the bait will last longer, so I tend to leave it there at least 10 minutes. Okay, so here we got the first victim, and I think that one is a male, so he goes straight for the bait, and he gets one claw, his left claw, inside the box, and he tries, as if you look at his right leg, he's trying to poke the bait and pull it towards him. So that's pretty cool. These guys are pretty smart. The underwater video for this was surprisingly clear. I was quite surprised, and this is because we put the ring in pretty shallow water. I think it was about 7 foot, 7 foot. And there are really two factors that's going to determine how clear your video is, and that's depth and sunlight. Sometimes the water is murky and it has a lot of debris, but usually if there's a lot of sunlight and it's not very deep, if it's under 8 foot, the video will become pretty clear still. Okay, I'm just going to speed that up just a little bit. So now we got 2 crabs in the ring. And they're doing their best to steal that bait. And it looks like the one in the foreground got a good chunk of chicken and he's trying to pull it off. For crab bait, as I mentioned many times before, you can use fish carcass as well. Some people use shad. Shad is really good. If you have shad, you definitely want to use that for crab bait because it's extremely oily and it's going to attract a lot of crabs. The bad side about shad is the seal will get to it and they will try to tear your pot apart just trying to get to the shad. So as you just saw, that one crab, he got his meal and he just left. He was pretty quick. That first one, he's still trying to grab a piece of chicken. The mesh in the door is a little bit bigger, so hopefully he figures out that to come to the front of the bait box, so that way his claws can reach inside. But it looks like he's trying to pull off the chicken skin, and he's not having success with it. Here, almost 5 minutes. Looks like he did manage to come to the front of the bait box, and then we got another crab that just showed up. So we got 2 big crabs, and I believe they are both male. The females tend to have the shell a little bit more round. These guys are male, and they are trying their best to steal that bait. These crab rings, as I said earlier, they're not very durable. The metal pieces are, the metal mesh on the bottom ring are, but it's the netting that tends to break the most. Over time, they become weak and they rip really easily, and I think this is one of the reasons why I don't use crab ring as much. It just doesn't mean that they're ineffective or they work a lot worse than the blue Promar I have. It's just that with the blue Promar, I can leave it down there for a long time, and while the pot's soaked, I can go fishing. With these rings, I really can't do that because you have to lift it between 10 and 15 minutes or less. So that's why I don't use a ring as often. These rings are very popular if you want to craft them to pier. And word of advice is when you toss the crab ring overboard, over the rails, just be sure to tie the rope to the dock first. I've actually seen a couple did that and they tossed their first ring and they forgot to tie the rope to the dock, and well, the couple didn't have a very polite conversation. So just make sure you tie the rope to the dock first before you toss the ring. So at about 7 minutes, as you can see, there's about 2 crabs in there and they're still trying to eat the chicken. But in a minute here, we're going to see more crabs show up right here, and that's at about 14 minutes. I could have pulled earlier too and get the 2 big crabs earlier in the video, but here we're at 14 minutes, and because usually at about 14 minutes you have a long scent trail down in the water. So as that scent trail goes further, it's going to attract more crab. So that's another benefit for leaving it down a little bit longer, because you want that scent trail to build up and you want to be going really far down the stream. And those crabs that are about 50 foot or 100 foot away, they can follow that scent trail and come to the ring. So here at about 15 minutes, you can see it's looks like a pretty loaded ring. Now I put the video kind of close to the crab bait, so that's why I couldn't get a panorama shot. But this ring is pretty good, pretty full, and I could have easily pulled it up right now. So now we're just past 18 minutes and we got crabs all over the bait box. They're climbing on top of each other, trying to eat the bait. Okay, so here is the pot coming up, and I'm just gonna cut into some videos that we got using this crab ring from the boat. Now for this pull, we had 2 big crabs, so that wasn't too bad at all.
Here we go. Hopefully I don't knock over that camera. Okay. Loaded. It's loaded. It's loaded. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, loaded with little guys. We got 1 big one. Oh, that's 1 more. Oh, that's a lot. Oh man. Oh wow. Oh. Look at that. Show the camera. Oh, see that? That's insane. Wow. That's 10 minutes. Okay. Look at this. Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 crabs in this ring.
10 minutes.
10 minutes of soak time, and we caught 2. 20 crabs, 2 keepers, 10 minutes. You see it down there, right? Yeah. You see the crab? No. No. Nothing there. Oh, not bad actually.
Hey, look at that. Oh, come on, be a male.
There you go.
Be a male.
Look at that ring. That is a male. Holy cow.
Nice.
It's bigger than the measuring tool. You don't need to measure this puppy.
No.
Look at that.
That's crazy.
See it? So there it is, folks. That was caught on the crab ring right there. First crab. That's a hard shell. So he's full of meat, man. Look how big he is.
That's huge. Woo. That's just a couple of minutes.
Yeah. We don't need to move. Just stay right here. They're loaded. Yeah.
Nice.
Now go away. Don't come back in my ring. Try it again.
Just throw all
Yeah,
this
just
bar
drop it.
on? Why not? We're here,
I
right?
mean, that was what, about 6 minutes?
Yeah, that wasn't long.
Sure, why not? Oh, come on, be nice. So there we go. First crab on a crab ring. So 6 minute in, we got a really big one. This is, I would say, about 6.5. So this is what? This is 6.25. Oh yeah, easy 6.5. Awesome. This year has been kind of like an anomaly or something. July and crabbing's been phenomenal.
I've been hearing half and half.
Really?
Soft, hard.
Yes, yes. Okay, folks, so that's about it. So again, these rings are about probably $20 up to upwards of $50. And they are a good investment. They catch a lot of crabs. They're easy to use, they're easy to set up. And just remember, tie your rope to the dock first before you toss your ring. And the best time to go crabbing on the Oregon coast are the months that ends with an R. So this fall should be really good. All right, folks, have fun fishing. Stay safe, tie lines.